What if humans lived in valleys filled with toxic gases, where every breath could mean the difference between survival and death? What if our ancestors had to adapt to a world where the ground itself seemed to exhale hail poison, where the air turned heavy and unseen dangers lay just beyond the mist? In this tale of life, 8.7 million years ago, survival was not just about finding food or escaping predators. It was about learning to live within a world that fought against every inhale. The sun rises over a jagged valley, its edges glowing gold, while shadows creep into the basin below. A band of Australopithecus descends carefully, their small bodies agile but tense. They move in silence, carrying sharpened stone flakes, woven leaf bundles filled with water, and strips of dried roots. The valley is rich with fruit trees and small game, but danger hangs in the air literally. Pockets of invisible toxic gas seep from fissures in the earth, forcing the tribe to read the signs of dying grass, silent bird calls, or the sudden collapse of an animal. One wrong step could suffocate them. They test the air with fire, a torch of resin and bark held low to the ground. If the flame dies, they know the gas lingers waiting. The leader gestures, and the group circles wide, bypassing a hollow where no sound exists, where even insects refuse to crawl. The journey is dangerous, but survival demands this risk. Game animals stumble into these deadly pits and never rise again. Their bodies left untouched, feeding the scavengers. The tribe spreads into formation, 2 scouts ahead, mothers carrying infants behind warriors with stone clubs flanking the sides. They move like shadows across the grasslands that border the valley. Yet hunger gnaws at them. Meat is scarce, and fruit from the safe ridges is dwindling. Today they must descend deeper than before. A sudden cry from above, the shriek of a bird of prey, snaps every head upward. But it is not the bird that threatens them. In the silence after its call, a rumbling emerges from the cliff face. Rocks tumble as a massive leopard, larger than any modern cousin, prowls down toward them. Its eyes lock on the weakest, a mother clutching her child. The group stiffens. Weapons are raised. The predator lunges and chaos erupts. Warriors scream without words, charging forward with clubs and stones. One swings wide, cracking the beast's shoulder, but the leopard slashes back, tearing flesh. Blood spatters the dust. Another warrior leaps onto its back, driving a sharp flake toward its neck. The cat thrashes, twisting, as the tribe swarms it like ants defending their nest. At last, with one final blow, the beast collapses. The silence that follows is heavy, broken only by the whimpering of the wounded and the cries of the infant alive and safe. But there is no time for triumph. The stench of gas wafts suddenly across the field, stirred by the commotion. Grass bends unnaturally, as if a phantom breeze flows uphill. The tribe recoils. They must move quickly, dragging the carcass away from the creeping poison. The valley does not forgive hesitation. The carcass of the leopard is hauled uphill with ropes of twisted vines, every hand straining, every breath measured. The tribe knows the rules of this land: eat too close to the valley floor, and the unseen breath of the earth will claim them. They climb higher toward a ridge where the winds sweep clean, dragging the body until their arms burn. When they reach a safe clearing, they collapse in silence, chests heaving, eyes wide with both fear and relief. Fire is struck quickly. Sparks leap from stone to dried grass, flames licking hungrily at the kindling. The air grows thick with smoke, a barrier against insects, and an omen of life in a valley of death. They strip the beast with sharpened flakes, their hands steady despite exhaustion. The meat will keep them alive, but the ritual of fire and sharing is what holds them together. Yet beneath their unity, the land continues its whisper of danger. As night falls, the valley glows faintly. Mist curls like ghosts between the trees, drifting up from cracks in the ground. A child wanders too close, drawn by the pale shimmer. Instantly, an elder yanks him back, eyes fierce. They mark the edges with branches and ash, a primitive border between safety and silence. Beyond it, no one dares to step. The first knot of conflict arrives with the dawn. As the tribe awakens, another group appears on the opposite ridge, shadows moving with purpose, their spears tipped with obsidian, sharper than bone. Rival Australopithecus, leaner, hungrier eyes fixed on the prize of fresh meat. Their growls carry across the clearing low and guttural. This valley does not have room for two tribes. The leader of the first group stands tall, gripping a club darkened with the leopard's blood. He does not speak, but his posture declares defiance. The rivals advance, their bodies painted with ochre and ash symbols of power and survival. Tension crackles between them like dry grass before a storm. But before the clash can ignite, the earth itself interrupts. A deep tremor rolls beneath their feet, unsettling stones and shattering the fragile balance. The valley exhales in one long, invisible breath. Birds explode from the trees, fleeing upward as animals below stumble and collapse. The toxic gas surges from fissures in the ground, rolling like an unseen tide. Both tribes freeze, instinct overriding hostility. Panic erupts. Rivals scatter, scrambling up the slopes, while the first tribe gathers frantically, snatching children, lifting the wounded, abandoning tools. The air thickens, invisible, but deadly, clawing at their throats. One warrior stumbles, dropping his club, eyes wide as breath deserts him. Two others seize his arms, dragging him uphill, legs thrashing against the suffocating air. The leopard meat is forgotten, left behind, as a sacrifice to the valley's fury. They ascend, desperately, gas chasing them like a silent predator. At the top of the ridge, wind breaks the curse. Fresh air floods their lungs. The survivors collapse, coughing, trembling, eyes wide, with the raw knowledge that survival in this land is never guaranteed. The rival tribe vanishes into the distance, their figures swallowed by the dark of the forest beyond. For now, bloodshed is delayed, but the threat lingers. The valley has no allies. Morning comes with an uneasy calm. The tribe sits on the ridge, gaunt but alive, their eyes fixed on the valley below. Where they had dragged the leopard's carcass, only bones and ash remain swallowed by the creeping mists. The earth has claimed its due, yet hunger gnaws again, relentless as the predators that stalk them. They cannot stay on this ridge forever. The leader rises, his body scarred but unbroken. He lifts a stone flake to the sky, catching the first light of dawn. The gesture is silent, but its meaning ripples through the tribe. Survival demands movement, not fear. He signals, and the group gathers what little remains. Bundles of water leaves, smoldering embers wrapped in bark. Stone tools chipped sharp during the night. Children cling to mothers, warriors steel themselves. They descend, but not into the valley's poisoned throat. Instead, they turn toward the distant river, where the air is cleaner and life may yet thrive. The path is brutal. Tall grasses whip at their legs, and the echo of predators follows in the wind. Yet unity carries them. Scouts find edible roots tucked in the shade of trees. Others weave makeshift slings from vines to carry the wounded. At the river, they pause. The water runs fast, swirling with hidden strength, but it is salvation compared to the silence of the gas valley. They kneel, cupping the current with leaf funnels splashing beaches, washing away the dust and fear. It is here that the second knot of conflict unfolds. From the opposite bank, eyes watch them. Another rival band, perhaps the same tribe scattered by the gas. Tension flares, but neither side dares to cross. The river is a wall between them, a fragile truce forged by distance. The leader of the first tribe lowers his weapon and kneels by the water, inviting his people to do the same. In that simple act, he chooses life over war. The others on the far bank retreat into the forest, leaving only the sound of rushing water. The day ends with firelight dancing on faces worn but hopeful. They roast small fish caught in woven traps, share roots, and for the first time since the valley attack, laughter flickers low, uncertain but real. Children play with bones shaped into toys. Elders tend to wounds with crushed herbs and smoke spirals into the sky, carrying their resilience upward. The toxic valley still breathes behind them, a reminder of the thin line between life and death. But in their unity, in their relentless march towards safer lands, they craft something stronger than fear, the beginnings of myth. The first threads of a story whispered through generations that even when the earth itself tries to claim them, humanity endures.